Hello YouTube, Brewski here. This week I'm going to be showing you guys how I build the Tyranid Barbgaunts. Really simple kit, a couple peculiarities to it. Hope you find this useful. So the first thing about this, this is probably the simplest kit in the whole box. Each Barbgaunt is only 4 pieces, main body, side of the body, the gun, and third leg. Not a joke. These go on 40 mil bases, and again, you only have the 4 pieces. Not too much difficulty in clipping these out. They're really not crammed on the frame. You don't have any weird kind of flash. These are pretty simple to go with. This 1 bit or 2 bits here and there will have a little bit of flash. Be very careful on leg pegs. They put a lot of these on the hooves to fit into bases, at least 2 per model. So be careful you don't cut those off unless you don't care and you're just going to glue this thing on willy-nilly. Now, one thing I did find kind of tricky, some of these pieces, the left and right side or left and right halves of the main body, the peg did not really want to go in the hole. I'm just full of innuendo on this one, aren't I? Anyway, I show you a clip a little bit later on, but I actually found if you file down the peg and you widen the hole a little bit, it goes way, way, way easier. So this one I just kind of barreled through it, put the whole thing together. But if you skip ahead in the chapters, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in terms of filing this down. This is really the only tricky part of this, and I'd go so far as to recommend doing this with each of the models. It just makes it that much easier. So next part to clip out is the gun. Again, no real tricky parts getting this one off the frame. Do take your time on the cleanup though. Some of these, the attachment to the frame, whatever you want to call that little nub, are on a perpendicular angle to the ridges on the gun itself, so it can be a little bit trickier to clean up, but really not too bad. Just go at it with a good file, a decent X-Acto, and you'll be totally fine on that one. Now, I didn't find any of these to be a crazy snug fit putting the gun onto the body. There's basically 2 arms which have little ball sockets and 1 peg, which is really more on the gun itself. You can put glue on the 2 ball sockets and the peg all on the gun piece. These I really had no trouble fitting together. They just go right in, they're not at a weird angle. Line it up on the arm sockets though. The peg kind of falls into place. Now, putting on the leg, I did do a separate little bit for this later on in the video as well. Again, check the chapters. But these line up. I'm not just talking about the pegs in the holes here, which in some cases you might have to file out, by the way, kind of like I am here. It's just lining up the leg on the body. There's pieces of, you would crudely say, armor. It's like chitin. They literally have a bit of a V and they fit right in. Okay, so slowing this one down, this is the body assembly I was talking about earlier, and I'm just showing this in real-time speed. There's a peg right in the middle of the main body portion, and this is very common with all Games Workshop peg and hole models. Sometimes there's a little bit of flash, which is extra plastic on the peg itself, and it will make it really hard to go into the hole. If you take that flash off, carve down the peg, and then you actually grind out the hole a little bit. The whole thing fits a lot easier. So on this kit, I do recommend doing both. I found this was a bit too snug on the first 2 models, so I did it on the last 3, and I'm showing you this here just so you have an easier time. Good spots to glue, by the way. There's this little ridge on the front of the smaller part of the shoulder. Obviously put some along the top spine ridge and with the hole in the peg. That's really all you should need. Now that join goes together pretty well. This is another one of those models that's just going to have a gap, unfortunately. Even doing the filing and all that stuff, you can see there's a noticeable line where the right shoulder meets the body. Kind of zoom in here, you can see that one line. There's really nothing to do about it, so just paint over this, do the best you can with it. It's just the snap fit kits or the push fit kits are going to have that problem. And here is the leg joint I'm talking about. Now I'm going to really try and get close here. So you can see there's bones right above the hole where this is supposed to go. It's kind of like exoskeleton, and there's a piece of the armor and then a little bone. And on the leg itself, the pattern of that extra armor and the leg form a little bit of a V. It's a little bit of a crevice, recess, whatever you're going to call it. That is your guide to fitting the leg on. It's just a single peg. There's not a double small peg to help align this. You could do it by eye and try to flatten up the hooves on the base. This is a lot trickier, especially if it's already on with the other 2 legs. So I recommend you use that as a guide to line this up. Again, just pushes in, a little bit of glue, and you're good to go. And there you have it. 5 Barbgaunts ready to lay down some hurt. Again, I hope this was useful for you guys. I have one more unit for the Tyranids, and then we're on to the Marines. So if you want to see more of these, please subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, leave any questions or comments you might have, and I'll see you on the next video.